Los Angeles has become ground zero in a massive standoff between protesters, law enforcement, and Donald Trump's mass immigration Gestapo. And if you're wondering how we got here, well, Donald Trump is president again, ICE is back in full force, and California said, "Chinga la migra." Chinga la migra. Chinga la migra. Chinga la migra. And Donald Trump, of course, was not happy, posting on Truth Social, if Governor Gavin Newsom, I guess we're back to nicknames, of California and Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles can't do their jobs, which everyone knows they can't, then the federal government will step in and solve the problem, rioters and looters, the way it should be solved. That was a public threat from the President of the United States to send federal agents into California and solve things his way after he turned LA into a war zone. And at the same time that Trump was declaring war on American citizens, he was busy doing very serious, very presidential work of attending a UFC fight with Dana White. Because nothing screams man of the people like watching cage fights in a suit while ICE is kidnapping families on the streets of LA. And that disconnect? That's the point. Trump plays the strongman for the cameras while his agents do the dirty work in the shadows. Actually, let me make a correction. They're not working in the shadows anymore. They're out in broad daylight. Trump and ICE have been terrorizing Latino communities across the United States. New York City, Chicago, Minneapolis, San Diego, and this weekend, they brought that same terror to LA. Local activists and LA residents have taken to the streets to document the horrific acts of these federal agents. Not only that, they're also working together to push back against ICE. This wasn't some random sweep across LA, it was coordinated, and it's exactly what Donald Trump promised he would do on the campaign trail.
On day one of my administration, I will terminate every open border policy of the Biden administration, and we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, because we have no choice. We have no choice. We will shut down deadly sanctuary cities. I will shift massive portions of federal law enforcement to immigration enforcement. And on day one, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. The Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
Federal agents are literally grabbing people off the street and throwing them into unmarked vehicles, not arresting, but abducting. They're speeding away from protest, hitting people with their cars. Literal hit and runs. This is what we've been dealing with across LA, and this is why we're standing together to protest this fascist regime. But Trump's cruelty isn't just for cruelty's sake, it's strategic chaos, the kind of chaos that Trump wants. Because under Project 2025, all of this becomes the pretext to invoke the Insurrection Act, letting him federalize the National Guard and crush resistance in sanctuary cities by force.
Quote, dubbed Project 2025, the group is developing a plan to include draft executive orders that would deploy the U.S. military domestically under the Insurrection Act. The proposal is identified in internal discussions as an immediate priority. The guy reportedly leading the work on this Insurrection Act plan under Project 2025 is Jeffrey Clark, a Trump Justice Department official who proposed having DOJ endorse fake fraud claims to effectively tell the states that they should ignore election results and keep Trump in power. According to Trump's federal indictment, he allegedly favored using the Insurrection Act back then to use the U.S. military to keep Trump in power.
The clip I just played is from 2023. What Trump is doing isn't new. It's been in the works for a while, a long while. Project 2025 laid it all out. And now that they're back in power, they've enacted a full-on attack against American citizens under the familiar bullshit guise of law and order. And just to show you how nakedly hypocritical this is, here's Kristi Noem in 2024 on Sean Hannity's show warning America that if President Biden federalized the National Guard, it would be a direct attack on states' rights. And let's just say it aged about as well as Kristi Noem's gender-affirming care. Plastic surgery.
When I heard the news, I immediately the next day was at the border, and it was because of what I heard Democrats encouraging the president to do. They were encouraging President Biden to activate our National Guard soldiers so that they would stand down. He actually was going to take control of our South Dakota National Guard and actually activate them so that they would not protect America. So recognizing the real threat that was to states' rights and how that would be the first time in history a president would pay a soldier to not fight, to not protect our country, made me show up in Texas the next day to let Governor Abbott know I'm here. South Dakota is with you. We will defend our Constitution. We will defend our rights, because the last several years we've seen the Democrats take away our freedom of religion, our freedom of assembly, our freedom of speech. We can't let them take away our states' rights, too, especially our right to protect ourselves.
Unless, of course, it's Donald Trump doing the federalizing. Then suddenly, it's not tyranny, it's patriotism. Now, it's not a coincidence that such an aggressive attack is happening in California right now. Governor Gavin Newsom just said maybe it's time for California to stop paying federal taxes altogether after Trump threatened to cancel the state's grants. And Trump, he doesn't know policy. He only knows retribution, the kind of retribution that he promised during his campaign.
I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen. Not going to let it happen.
And to really drive that home, just look at how Trump's goons immediately started threatening protesters online, not the agents literally running people over in the streets. Customs and Border Patrol tweeted, "Let this be clear. Anyone who assaults or impedes a federal law enforcement officer, attack a cop, and lifelong consequences will follow." You mean like how Trump supporters assaulted law enforcement officers on January 6th? Attorney General Pam Bondi tweeted, "It doesn't matter if you're a judge, a member of Congress, or a protester in Los Angeles. If you obstruct or assault a law enforcement officer, this Department of Justice will prosecute you." You mean like how Republicans assaulted officers on January 6th? And of course, FBI Director Kash Patel tweeted, "Hit a cop, you're going to jail. Doesn't matter where you came from, how you got here, or what movement speaks to you. If the local police force won't back our men and women, we, the FBI, will." Oh, you mean like how MAGA hit cops repeatedly without hesitation on January 6th. Again, this is pretty rich coming from the party that incited an actual insurrection, smeared their own shit on the walls of the Capitol, built gallows to hang lawmakers, chanted "Hang Mike Pence," and beat police officers with Blue Lives Matter flags and Trump flags.
Yikes.
But sure, tell me more about Law and Order. I love going out with friends, but I don't always want to drink. That's why I've been reaching for Sol's out-of-office gummies instead. They're the perfect little lift to keep the good vibes going and give me that light, social buzz without the hangover. Sol is a wellness brand that believes feeling good should be fun and easy. Sol specializes in delicious hemp-derived THC and CBD products designed to boost your mood and help you unwind. Their best-selling out-of-office gummies were designed to provide a mild, relaxing buzz, boost your mood, and enhance creativity and relaxation. The out-of-office gummies come in 4 different strengths, so you can find the perfect dose for your vibe. Choose from a gentle microdose, perfect buzz, unnoticeable high, or a fully lit experience. With wellness at the forefront, you can feel good about what you're putting in your body. All of Sol's products are made from organically farmed, USA-grown hemp and are vegan, gluten-free, and low in sugar. And if you like their out-of-office gummies, you've got to try their new out-of-office beverage, a refreshing, alcohol-free alternative perfect for summer sipping. Bring on the good vibes and treat yourself to Sol today. Right now, Sol is offering my audience 30% off your entire order. Go to GetSol.com and use the code GABE. That's GetSol.com, promo code GABE for 30% off. And if this isn't obvious by now, this is coordinated, this is intentional, and it's not about crime, it's about control. And just to be clear, what's happening right now in LA is not an insurrection. It's us resisting Trump's Gestapo from straight up abducting people and throwing them into dark holes with no food, no water, and no due process. The only ones making this worse are Trump and his cronies who continue to escalate the situation. They even had a Black Hawk helicopter fly in to drop off ammunitions and weapons. What the fuck are we doing here? And then there's Pete Hegseth, who is tweeting through the tyranny by saying that active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton are on high alert and he would send them to LA. That's the kind of rhetoric and behavior that's going to get innocent people murdered, and then Trump is going to look straight into the camera and say,
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Look, if you're just now waking up to what Donald Trump is doing in his second term, get ready, because this is a chilling preview. Donald Trump's Gestapo is out of control. Here they are assaulting and arresting SEIU California's president David Huerta during an ICE raid in the warehouse district of downtown LA. Huerta is an LA native, American citizen, and labor leader. Again, our government is arresting American citizens who are exercising their rights and protesting these raids, but in Trump's America, that's not allowed. Since Trump took office in January, feds have shown up in plainclothes and unmarked vehicles terrorizing communities in their homes, businesses, and even schools.
Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got off of a soft lockdown, and you know, parents had to run out because they don't have papers, and they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the f*** is this? And we voted for this shit? 15 people just got picked up on Wilshire at the Home Depot. On Wilshire. Yo. Man, oh my God. This is not right. This is not right, yo.
This isn't new. This is escalation. And now, some of the very people who helped put Trump back in office are suddenly realizing, oh wait, this actually hurts. Like Latinas for Trump co-founder Ileana Garcia, who is now calling Trump's immigration policies inhumane and says this isn't what she voted for. First off, we don't claim Latinas like Ileana. Let's just clear that up right now. And second, what did she think was gonna happen? The leopard eating faces party are now all of a sudden surprised that the leopards are eating their faces. Trump and his goons literally bragged on the campaign trail about what they were gonna do. They ran on it. Republicans were even chanting with glee at the RNC, waving around signs that straight up said mass deportations, like it was Coachella for fascists. The inhumane writing was on the wall in all caps. So when I see people from my own community, people who look like me, suddenly having buyer's remorse after cheering this on, I say,
the more you f around, the more you're gonna find out.
And of course, Trump couldn't help himself. He jumped on Truth Social and went full dictator in the group chat. Great job by the National Guard in Los Angeles after 2 days of violence, clashes, and unrest. These radical left protests by instigators and often paid troublemakers will not be tolerated. Also, from now on, masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. What do these people have to hide and why? First of all, as pointed out by Governor Gavin Newsom, the National Guard didn't show up until the next morning, so unless Donald Trump developed time travel, he just straight up lied to make himself look like a tough guy. Second, the mask ban? Yeah, that's not a thing. It's illegal under California law to preemptively ban masks at protests, but you know what? Let's pretend it wasn't, because the irony here is just delicious. This is the same movement that refused to wear masks during COVID, even when it meant killing off their own relatives, now suddenly wants protesters unmasked so ICE agents can identify and detain them. Meanwhile, ICE agents themselves wear masks, helmets, and tactical gear to hide their identities because they're afraid of being doxxed. Welcome to Trump's America. But I'll end with this. These protests give me hope because while Donald Trump and his goons actively try to destroy America, I am watching my community in the streets defending and caring for each other. And that unity and compassion is the America that I know and love. What Was That is here because of viewers like you. With billionaires controlling the media and misinformation everywhere, supporting real reporting matters now more than ever. Become a paid subscriber today at whatwasthat.show for more episodes, articles, and breakdowns. I'm fully independent, so your support helps run this one-person production. Prefer to listen while you're on the go? What Was That is available on all major podcast platforms. Apple, Spotify, you name it. Until next time, I'm Gabe Sanchez, and this has been What Was That?